My daughter was my love of my life. She was Daddy's princess. She had me wrapped around her finger. She was graduating that year, and she got shot, like I said, 9 times. She tried to save another student, and she ended up getting killed, and the student got killed too because the bullets went through my daughter, and went into the child underneath her. And like I said, I love her so much. My life is never the same. I just live with the dull pain of having my child murdered.
A staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, Andrew poured all his time and energy into investigating what went wrong in Parkland, digging deeper than the quick headlines and easy conclusions.
What happens in a lot of mass shootings is the media and leftists they usually focus on the gun. That's what happens. And that's exactly what happened in Parkland. You know, you saw a lot of attention brought on to these kids that were very vocal about the AR. The media all got involved, and they all focused on the AR and the weapon. But I couldn't just do that. I wanted to know how this could happen. My daughter, who was is like speaking in my ear saying, "Daddy, you got to find out what happened. And you got to hold these people accountable for all the failures that happened in Parkland."
After a year of research and investigation, Andrew compiled his findings into the book, Why Meadow Died. What it reveals is a broken system failing to stop a clearly deranged person hell-bent on mass murder.
That shooting was one of the most avoidable shootings that this country's ever had. It could have been stopped numerous times.
I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018.
Everyone knew that this kid was going to be the shooter. His nickname was Crazy Boy.
His Instagram profile showing he was obsessed with guns.
He had a mental health counselor that was going to his house like on a monthly basis.
He was taking medication, but at some point stopped, which should have been a flag.
He punched his mother's teeth out at the house and wasn't arrested.
Teachers claim he was troubled and had been identified as a potential shooter.
He cut animals' heads off, never was arrested, tried to commit suicide.
Also looking at his social media posts, which have so far been described as very, very disturbing.
So one summer, there was a hatchet missing from his garage, and they couldn't find it. And they were so worried what this kid was doing with a hatchet. But meanwhile, that fall, they recommended mainstreaming him into the school with my daughter. And we didn't know this. The sheriff was to the shooter's house 45 times, and he was never arrested.
The Broward Sheriff's Office got over 20 calls over the last few years.
He trespassed at the school a year prior and wasn't arrested. They also had to frisk the shooter every morning before school, and the parents didn't know.
Someone called the FBI tip line to warn them, giving details about his guns, his desire to kill people. That tip, though, never made it to Miami's FBI field office.
The police didn't stop it that day. The mental health institutions, the administrators, had plenty of chances to stop it. 6 police hid outside the building.
5 minutes go by before police officers even enter the building.
An Uber driver drove the shooter to the school with a rifle bag that day, picked him up at his house, dropped him in front of the school with a Cabela's rifle bag, and thought that was okay. And then they had gates open, schools don't learn.
The people demand a law banning the sale of assault weapons. The people demand we prohibit the sale of high-capacity magazines. The people demand universal background checks. Stand for us or beware, the voters are coming.